Hello everyone and welcome back to Beatley Tone's Beatles channel. Lovely to have you here. Thanks for joining me for this video and I hope you're all doing well. Now I'm here in the garden possibly for the last time this summer. We're having a bit of a heat wave here in the UK at the moment. It's 30 degrees today. That's 90 degrees if you're still in old money. And we've just had a news flash from the BBC saying this is a record. It's the first time that the UK has hit 30 degrees in September. We've got a few more days of it and then the weather's going to turn. So this could be the last chance to do a video in the garden this year. So I thought that's what I'd do. I've had a great week. Went down to see the Paul McCartney photo exhibition again on Tuesday. That was my second time. I met subscriber Nick Syrick down there. He was over in the UK from the States, so we went and had a look at that together, and then he took me for dinner, which was really nice of him. So it was great to see you, Nick, and thanks very much for that. Okay, so I've got a lot to get through in this video. I've got all this new vinyl to show you. I've got a couple of albums that have been gifted to me. I've got an unboxing to do, and the rest of those vinyl purchases that I made in July that I didn't show in the first video of the vinyl haul for July. So I need to move quite quickly on this. As I said, it's pretty hot here. I don't want any of these records to melt, although that would probably make good video content. I'll make a mental note: melt a video, melt a record on a video in the future, or maybe not. Okay, let's get on with it. Now, you remember a few videos ago I showed a load of original Beatles albums from the 60s that had been given to me by my aunt, who bought them at the time, some first pressing Beatles records. Now she's moving house at the moment, so she said, do you want to come and have another route through my record collection and see if there's anything that you want? So that's what I did, and I found a couple of albums that I wanted, so I'm going to show you those first. The first one is this one, Bookends by Simon and Garfunkel from 1968. Absolutely fantastic album. This is a stereo version of the album, and this is in really good nick, because you wonder about records where the music is quiet or acoustic or something like that, and sort of surface noise sort of takes over, but this one is in fabulous condition. It sounds really good, and I reckon that this is probably my favourite Simon and Garfunkel album. It's got some great tracks on it. America, which is my favourite Simon and Garfunkel track. It's got Old Friends, it's got Hazy Shade of Winter, At the Zoo, Mrs. Robinson. I mean, this is a stellar album. I think this is a better album than Bridge Over Troubled Water was my favourite. My favourite track by them is America, as I said, but the track Old Friends on this album always gets to me. It's a really emotional song, and some of these lyrics, especially if you as we're now entering the winter of our lives, this song means a lot. It means a lot to me, and it always makes me quite emotional. Some of these lyrics, the old men lost in their overcoats waiting for the sunset, fantastic stuff. And can you imagine us years from today sharing a park bench quietly? How terribly strange to be 70. And then the bit that just really gets me at the end: old friends, memory brushes the same years, silently sharing the same fears. And if you've got a friend that you're still in touch with, from school or whatever, and I've got a few that I am still very friendly with, people that I met at school, and Paul Simon absolutely nails how you feel entering the winter of your life, and when you think about how young he was when he wrote that song, how did he know that? It's brilliant brilliant poetry. Okay, so that's that album. The second album that I was given is this one, Johnny Cash Live at San Quentin. Again, a classic sort of live album. Side 1, Wanted Man, Wreck of the Old 97, I Walk the Line, Darling Companion, Starkville City Jail, and then side 2, San Quentin, Boy Named Sue, Peace in the Valley, and Folsom Prison Blues. Again, this is not in bad condition. Another one on the CBS label. But very pleased to have original pressings of these two classic albums, so really great to get those. Now, okay, now onto an unboxing. Now I have actually cheated, I have actually opened it, because I always worry about people that open up packages live on their videos. I mean, you hope that they're going to be a record, but you know, you never know until you get it open. It could be this month's supply of Incontinence pants, and we wouldn't want to see that, would we? So what I have got inside here is the Goat's Head Soup box set, LP box set. Now, you might remember from the video that I did on the July haul that the Goat's Head Soup that I bought for £7 was rubbish. It was terrible. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna get the proper version. So that's the hype sticker there, and we've got the shrink on it. So let's get the shrink off. Shrinks off. Okay, get that on the back there with the track listing. The front of the box, nothing on the back or sides, so let's open it up. It's a tricky blighter. Okay, here is the main album. Love Goat's Head Soup, very underrated album as far as I'm concerned. And let's see what's inside the cover. Okay, so I never got any of this with my one that I bought from the shops. That's the track listing and the cast. Of course, this is brand new 180 gram vinyl. It's the record. I think we all know the track listing for Goat's Head Soup, but I'll go through it anyway. Dancing with Mr. D, 100 Years Ago, Coming Down Again, Do Do Do, Heartbreaker, Angie, the hit single, Silver Train, Hide Your Love, Fabulous Winter, Can You Hear the Music, and Star Star. Okay, so that is the main album. Then in addition to that, we get some bonus material. That is the actual Goat's Head Soup. Looks delicious, doesn't it? And the inner sleeve for that is like that. So what do we get on here? We get Scarlet, All the Rage, Crisscross, 100 Years Ago, piano demo, Dancing with Mr. D instrumental. Then on side 2 we get Heartbreaker instrumental, Hide Your Love alternative mix, Dancing with Mr. D, Glyn Johns 1973 mix, Heartbreaker, Glyn Johns 1973 mix, and Silver Train, Glyn Johns 1973 mix. So that is the first sort of double album, but this is a 4 LP set, and additionally in the box we get this Brussels Affair live double album. It's like that. And let's have a look inside. It's a track listing of side 1 and 2, which is Brown Sugar, Give Me Shelter, Happy, Tumbling Dice, Star Star, Dancing with Mr. D, Heartbreaker, and Angie. This is live from 1973. That is the back of the inner sleeve. There is the vinyl. Okay, have you heard the new Stones single, Angry? I think it's really good. I think it's a really good single. I've played it a few times though, and I'm kind of bored with it already. I do think it's really good, but yeah, I mean, they're not breaking any new ground for sure. But it's a good track. But I've played it about 3 or 4 times. I'm bored with it already. But I might buy the album. I haven't bought a Stones studio album since Some Girls, so I might buy the album. So the second LP, You Can't Always Get What You Want, Midnight Ramblers, side 2, Honky Tonk Women, All Down the Line, Rip This Joint, Jumping Jack Flash Street, Fighting Man. Bit late to the party on this. This came out in 2020. I'm not sure why, because it wasn't like an anniversary or anything. This is the 50th anniversary is this year, but this came out in 2020. Okay, so that is your Goat's Head Soup 4 LP box set. I'm very pleased to have that, and that I bought from eBay. 35 quid. I thought that was a good price for that box set. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to show you. So now we're going back to the stuff that I bought in July that I didn't show you in the first video, and we'll see how we go with the time on this. But there's quite a few here that I haven't shown, but let's see what we've got. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to show you is this collection of Beatles oldies but goldies in mono. Now, I've never owned a mono copy of this album. I've got a stereo version that I bought 1976, and I bought it just to get Bad Boy, because I already had the Red album, so I had everything else that is on this. But this is the first pressing. I didn't know it was when I bought it, but I get I think I've told you before, I get these emails which feels like they send me an email every day, but it's probably not every day. It's probably maybe twice a week or something, with all the Beatles stuff that they have in, Beatles and solo stuff that comes into this website called EIL.com. And funny enough, I wasn't looking for a price for this, but in the last few days an email came that had a copy of this on it, and it kind of tells you all the stuff that gives it away as being a first pressing, like the sold in the UK, the gramophone record, and the Matrix ending in 1G. So this is a first pressing in the original Emitex inner sleeve polylined, and this is in absolutely superb condition. It is really good. Someone's stuck a sticker on the label for some reason, and there's a little bit of spindle wear there, you can see it, but it plays fantastic. So I've never had a mono version of oldies but goldies, but I do now, and if you have a look at this advert from EIL.com, 125 quid they want for a mono first pressing of Oldies But Goldies. I paid 15 quid from Slab Records in Loughton, which is where I bought all of these records. And if you remember from the first video, they were doing a 20% sale, so that would have been another 3 quid off that. So I would have actually paid £12 for Oldies But Goldies in mono first pressing in really good nick. So I am absolutely delighted with that. Okay, so that was that one. Now this next one, this one I paid, you see it's got a pink sticker on it. It didn't come in a you know, a plastic sleeve or anything. It was just in a box with a load of other albums that they were charging £1 for. I think I showed you one in the last video. This one, The Pretenders, Get Close. This is their album from 1986. It's not a brilliant album. This is the track listing. It's got Don't Get Me Wrong on it and Hymn to Her. Those are the singles from this album. But interestingly, it's got a bit of a Paul McCartney, you know, attachment. Robbie McIntosh was in the Pretenders at that time, as was Blair Cunningham. Obviously, Robbie McIntosh played on the 89-90 and the 93 World Tour. Blair Cunningham played on the 93 World Tours, both from the Pretenders. And actually Wicks also plays on this album, although he's not pictured on the sleeve. He plays on a couple of tracks. So you can see the basis of Paul's 1989-90 band coming from the Pretenders. I didn't show you the record, did I? I didn't show you the spine, did I, of Oldies But Goldies. That is also really good as well. There you go. So yeah, the Pretenders, Get Close. The inner sleeve with the lyrics, Blair and Robbie McIntosh there. And on the other side, all the lyrics there, and just try to see if I can see where Wicks is. There you can see there, Wicks. Wicks' name there on keyboards. And this, to be honest, I don't think this has ever been played. Probably because it's not that great as an album. But for a quid, I'm having it for a quid, for sure. Right, okay. The next one, this is Alchemy by Dire Straits, live album from 1984. Really good album. It's got a gatefold like that. You know, if you like Dire Straits, you will love this album. It's got sort of, you know, kind of long live versions of, you know, of the songs that are on it. This one is not in brilliant condition. It's in okay condition. I mean, this is another one, you know, a lot of Dire Straits music is soft and quiet and then gets louder, and you know, the bits where it's soft and quiet, you can hear a little bit of surface noise. When it gets louder, you can't. I won't show you both the discs, they are both the same, but they both come in this sort of inner bag, which is poly-lined. But I'm very pleased to have get this album, because I just love the album. I've never owned this before, so I thought I would pick this up. And the track listing for this is like so. You can't read it, I'll tell you. It's Once Upon a Time in the West, Romeo and Juliet, side 1, side 2 is Espresso Love, Private Investigation, Sultans of Swing, a very long version of that. Side 3, Two Young Lovers and Tunnel of Love. Side 4, Telegraph Road, Solid Rock, and Going Home, the theme from Local Hero, which I can kind of do without. But really great album. This one was a little bit more expensive. This was £18 £4. We've got 20% off of that. That's £3.60, so it takes it to £14.40. I'm okay with that. It's a double album. Very pleased to have that. Okay. So the next album that I got is this one, the Paul Simon Songbook. Now, a lot of people, myself included, thought that the Paul Simon's first solo album was the one from 1972 where he's wearing the anorak, he's got the hood on, and the one that's got me and Julio down by the schoolyard and Mother and Child Reunion on it. That was, always thought that was his first solo album, but no, that was a lie. This is his first solo album, and it's basically got acoustic versions of quite a lot of Simon and Garfunkel songs. That is the track listing there. You also get a little write-up about each song. There was no inner sleeve with this, so I had to make my own. Well, I didn't make my own. I mean, I didn't make this you know, anti-static sleeve out of a few yogurt pots and a pair of shoelaces. I bought it. I don't know why I said I had to make my own. I mean, I had to put it in my own sleeve. There is the record, and there's you know, there's a little bit of surface noise on this. This is from 1965. No jumps, no pops, just a little bit of crackle and stuff, you know, as you would expect for an album of this age. This is from 1965. So really pleased to get that Paul Simon's first solo album, the Paul Simon Songbook, and for that I paid £7, less my 20% discount. Okay, so the next one is going back to the Stones. Get your yah-yahs out. That's not an instruction. That's the name of the album, the live album from 1970. I've never owned this on vinyl. I do have it on CD, but very pleased to pick this up. It's not in bad nick. There's, you know, a bit of a stain on the sleeve there. The spine is not great, but you can read it. But again, this is in really good nick. This wasn't in a polyline sleeve, but I made my own, as they say. But look how clean that is. No spindle wear whatsoever. Very, very pleased to get this fantastic live album. You know, it's one of those albums that's always sort of, you know, when people say the best live albums of all time, Get Your Yah-Yahs Out is up there. For that one, I paid £15, less my 20% discount. That would be £3 off, so £12 for that one. Okay, I've then got, what have I got next? Let's show you this one. Now, with David Bowie, I've got David Bowie, I've got all his 70s albums from Space Oddity, and in the 80s I go up to Let's Dance, and then I have a great big void in Bowie's catalogue, and then I pick him up again with Heathen, Reality, the next day, and of course Black Star. So I've got a big gap in the middle of my Bowie collection. Don't own them on LP or CD. So I was very pleased to find this one tonight from 1984. This is the one that's got a blue jean on it. It's a bit of a funny album because Bowie doesn't write all the songs on this album. There's a few covers on here, and but it is a really good album. I'd never heard it before. I gave it a spin, and I thought, you know what, this is actually quite good. So I might be, you know, changing my thoughts on you know, these missing Bowie albums. Might be getting a few, maybe try and pick a few of them up. That is the info, and the other side has got the lyrics on it. And again, look, this album is so clean. It is really really excellent, really excellent. Very pleased to, quite thin, but very pleased to get David Bowie Tonight from 1984. There is the spine of it. Yeah, it's in good nick. Oh, that way around. Great sleeve, really great sleeve. So yeah, pleased to get that. You know, I do have the one album that I do have that is out of that period is the live at the BBC, the live gig that he did at the BBC, which is fantastic, which does have some songs from the period that I don't have albums for. You know, things like Hello Space Boy, 7 is a fantastic track. So there is certainly potential to up my Bowie collection around that time. Okay, so next one I'm going to show you is, did I tell you how much I paid for that? I didn't, did I? Did I tell you? £5. £5. £4 really. Right, okay. That one, Renegade, Thin Lizzy from 1981. Thin Lizzy, first ever band that I saw live in 1976, my first ever gig. Terrible sleeve for this album, but it's a very good album. I kind of dipped out of Thin Lizzy about 1979, and I've caught up with their stuff since then. I do have this on CD, a kind of expanded version, but I saw it and I thought, you know what, I'll have that. This is a pretty good album actually, and it's not that well regarded. Again, it's in really good nick. It's not that well regarded because, you know, it doesn't have any hit singles on it, but it does have some fantastic tracks. That is the track listing. I don't know if you can read it. I mean, who designs these things? Who designs these things with red, you know, a red sleeve with gold writing? Can you read that? I can barely read it in the flesh, let alone on camera. Terrible idea. But yeah, it does have some good tracks on it. Angel of Death, Renegade, Hollywood, Down on Your Luck is a great track. Fats and Mexican Blood, all really good tracks if you like Thin Lizzy. And what I paid for that was £8, so that would have been 160 off of that as well. And then another Thin Lizzy album, Chinatown, which is the album before Renegade. This is from 1980, which has a fantastic sleeve. Look at that. I kind of dipped out of Thin Lizzy at this time because it's kind of when they kind of went a little bit heavy metal, bit too heavy for my liking. But I've gone back and I do really like this album. This has got some nice stuff on it. The lyrics there. So this is the album where Snowy White replaced Gary Moore on lead guitar. Thin Lizzy got 2 lead guitarists, Scott Gorham being the other one, and this has got some good tracks on it. Chinatown is good. Didn't I, Hey You, Sugar Blues and Killer on the Loose are the best tracks on this album. Again, I've never owned it on vinyl before now, but glad to have it. I do have this on CD in expanded form, and that one, Chinatown, was £10. Okay, now this one, Blondie, Eats the Beat. This is, I think, from 1979. So this was kind of the album where I fell out with Blondie. I bought their first 3 albums, Blondie, Plastic Letters and Parallel Lines. I didn't buy this at the time. It's kind of the time where they went a little bit disco, but not completely. But I didn't buy it at the time, and I saw it there. And that's the inner sleeve. Always nice to see a picture of Debbie. And I thought, I'm gonna have it on the Chrysalis label. And I'm not being funny, I don't think this has ever been played. Zero spindle wear on this at all. It's got some good tracks on it. It's got some singles, Dreaming, Union City Blue, Atomic. That's it. It's produced by Mike Chapman. So and it's a much better album than I thought it was going to be. I did enjoy this one, so I'm glad to get that. Eat to the Beat cost me £5, and then my 20% discount. So that was all the records that I bought from Slab Records back in July. Now in August, I haven't really bought much in August apart from the Goat's Head Soup box set, but we went up to the Valley of Dean, Forest of Dean for a weekend. We came across this shop which was called Knickknacks. It was called Knickknacks, and but outside it had a sign that said we sell vinyl. So I thought it would be rude not to go in, so we did go in and have a little root about in it. And it was one of these shops that just, because it wasn't a record shop, it sold all sorts of, it sold things like hubcaps from Ford Cortinas and things like that, really old sort of vintage stuff, but they did have quite a lot of records, so I did have a look through it. And I found this one, Paul Simon, third Paul Simon, sort of third Paul Simon album I'm showing in this video. This is Negotiations and Love Songs. It's a double album, it's a compilation. I do have this on CD. I bought it when it came out. I think this came out in 1988, but I didn't have it on vinyl, and it was there in the on the racks, and they didn't have a price on it. So I asked the bloke how much it was, and it's one of those double albums that, you know, it's not a gatefold, they're both stuck in there, and I don't think he knew that it was a double album, and he said, I don't know, £5. So I thought, fair enough, I'll have that for a £5. And it is, I mean, this is a brilliant compilation. If you like Paul Simon's solo stuff, you know, 70s and 80s stuff, this is the boy to get. Side 1, Mother and Child Reunion, Me and Julio Down by the Schoolyard, Something So Right, St Judy's Comet, Loves Me Like a Rock. Side 2, Kodachrome, Have a Good Time, 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover, Still Crazy After All These Years. Side 3, Late in the Evening, Slip Sliding Away, Hearts and Bones, Train in the Distance. And side 4, Renee and Georgette Magritte with Their Dog After the War. Catchy title. Diamonds and the Soles of Her Shoes, You Can Call Me Out, and Graceland. That is the track listing there. So there's no gatefold. The inner sleeve has a list of musicians, but not the lyrics. That is for both of them. I won't show you them both because they are the same. But this again was fantastic. Sounds really great. Again, hardly ever played. Really clean copy. £5, and these are poly lined as well, the inner bags. It wasn't all success, and I haven't got them all. With one that wasn't great was this one, Mott the Hoople's first album, Mott. This is a good album. It's got all the way from Memphis on it, and Honolulu Boogie, which are great songs, but it's got so much surface noise on it, it's virtually unlistenable. So I'm taking that back. It was only £6. There was a couple of others. There was the David Bowie album that that he does, Peter and the Wolf. You know, it's a spoken word thing. Mrs. Beatley Tone fancied that. It's like a children's introduction to all the instruments in an orchestra, but the surface noise is longer than David Bowie's voice. So that's going back as well. And I also bought a reissue of Crosby, Stills and Nash, their debut album, which was unlistenable. It jumped and it had scratches on it, so that is going back as well. So it wasn't a completely successful month for purchases, but I'm very pleased with the stuff that I've shown you in this video. So that is it. That's everything. No records have melted during the making of this video, so that's good. Please tell me what you think about these albums. I realise this is mostly non-Beatles related stuff, but do tell me what you think. If you've got any of these albums, anything you want to tell me, please do so down in the comments. You know, I read all your comments and I will respond to all your comments. Okay, that's it from me. If you've liked this video, please give it a like. Just take a second just to give it a like, because it really helps the channel, helps the video get out there. And if you're seeing this channel for the first time, please consider supporting the channel by subscribing. I really love to have you on board. That's it from me. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you very soon. I've got something good coming actually at the weekend. Got a little Beatles related game for you to play at the weekend, so we'll do that at the weekend. Right, thanks again for watching.